Believing in yourself is the foundation for reaching your goals and living a fulfilling life. But it's not always easy to build that confidence or keep it strong, especially when challenges come your way. This guide will show you 10 practical ways to truly believe in yourself and start achieving cool things step by step. You'll learn how to set your mindset each morning, take small but powerful actions every day, and keep going even when fear or doubt tries to hold you back. These ideas aren't just quick fixes, they are habits you can build that grow your strength, resilience, and self-respect over time. As you follow along, you'll discover tools to change the way you think, handle failure, and stay focused on what really matters. If you're ready to stop waiting for motivation and start taking control of your life, this is the guide for you. Stick with it, and you'll find yourself moving closer to the success you want while feeling more confident and grounded every day. Chapter 1. Build unshakable trust in your own decisions today. If you want to do meaningful things with your life, if you want to feel proud of who you are and what you're becoming, you must begin by building trust in your own decisions. That trust is not about being right all the time. It's about standing on your own 2 feet, acting with clarity, and knowing that whatever happens next, you can face it, adjust, and move forward. That kind of trust doesn't come from wishing or waiting. It comes from action, from choice, and from the decision to be fully responsible for your life. Most people live in hesitation. They hesitate before speaking up. They hesitate before trying something new. They hesitate because they are waiting for the perfect answer, the perfect moment, or someone else's approval. But there is no perfect moment, no guaranteed path, no outside approval that can replace what you must build inside yourself. Self-trust is the foundation for every step forward. Without it, even the best plan falls apart. With it, even your imperfect choices become stepping stones towards something great. When you don't trust yourself, you second-guess everything. You replay conversations in your head. You worry about what others will think. You freeze in moments that require boldness. You look outward for answers that only live inside you, and over time, that erodes your confidence. You begin to believe that you aren't capable, that you aren't wise enough, strong enough, or ready enough. But the truth is, the longer you stay stuck in that place, the harder it becomes to move. So if you want to build unshakable trust in your own decisions, you must begin today, not when you feel ready, not when everything lines up perfectly. You start where you are. You begin by paying attention to the small choices you make every single day. What time do you wake up? How do you spend your first hour? What do you say yes to? What do you tolerate? Each of those decisions reflects who you believe you are and who you're becoming. And if you want to strengthen that trust, you must take ownership of them. That begins with clarity. You cannot trust your decisions if you are unclear about what you value, what you want, and what you stand for. Clarity is not about having a perfect plan. It's about knowing what matters to you, so that when choices arise, you aren't swayed by fear, pressure, or noise. Clarity allows you to act with integrity. It's what keeps you grounded when the world gets loud. Take time to write down what matters most to you. Be honest. Don't filter it through what you think sounds good. Identify what you care about, what you're working toward, and what kind of person you want to be. Once you have clarity, you must practice. Self-trust grows through repeated action. You don't build it once and keep it forever. You build it by showing up for yourself again and again. Start with small things. Decide what time you'll go to bed, and stick to it. Decide to take care of your health, and follow through. Decide to speak up in the meeting, and do it even if your voice shakes. Every time you follow through, you build evidence. That evidence rewires how you see yourself. You begin to believe that you are the kind of person who follows through. That belief is what creates unshakable trust. It's important to understand that trusting yourself doesn't mean always making the right choice. Sometimes you'll be wrong. Sometimes you'll stumble. Sometimes you'll wish you had done things differently. That doesn't mean you can't trust yourself. It means you're human. The goal is not perfection. The goal is ownership. Did you learn from it? Did you take responsibility? Did you keep going? That's what matters. People who trust themselves don't avoid mistakes. They learn how to grow from them. You'll also need to stop outsourcing your power when you're constantly asking for others' opinions, constantly comparing your path to someone else's, constantly waiting for reassurance. You are training yourself to believe that you can't decide. And that message runs deep. It eats away at your ability to feel grounded. So the next time you find yourself asking 10 people what to do, pause. Ask yourself instead, what feels right for you? What direction aligns with your values? What decision can you own fully and completely? This kind of ownership requires courage, because sometimes the answer that feels right for you won't make sense to others. Sometimes it won't be popular. Sometimes it will require you to walk alone for a while. But that's the price of self-trust. You must be willing to live in alignment with your values, even when it's uncomfortable. You must be willing to make decisions that others don't understand. You must be willing to believe in your inner compass more than you believe in the opinions of people who are not living your life. You'll also need to deal with the fear of making the wrong choice. That fear is normal, but it's also not a reason to freeze. The truth is, most of your decisions are not final. You can adjust. You can learn. You can try again. What paralyzes people is the belief that one wrong choice will ruin everything. But life is more flexible than that. You are more resilient than that. Trust is not built in the absence of fear. It is built when you act in spite of it. And remember, every time you delay a decision, every time you avoid stepping forward, you tell yourself that you're not capable. You reinforce the idea that you can't handle it, and that message becomes louder each time. If you want to reverse that pattern, you must take action. Even small steps matter. Make the phone call, write the email, start the project, end the toxic relationship. Say what needs to be said. Choose something and move, because action is what builds trust. You can't think your way into confidence. You must act your way there. A big part of trusting yourself is also learning to quiet the noise. Your mind will fill with doubt, fear, and uncertainty. That's what minds do. But you don't have to obey every thought that shows up. You can pause. You can breathe. You can listen more deeply. What does your body say? What does your experience say? What does your heart know that your fear tries to hide? The more you practice listening to yourself, the clearer that voice becomes. And the more you listen, the more you'll realize that you don't need to be told what to do. You already know. If you want to develop unshakable trust, you must also be honest with yourself. You can't build trust on lies, even if those lies feel comfortable. If you're avoiding something, admit it. If you've been procrastinating, face it. If you've made excuses, own them. That level of honesty is what builds a solid foundation. Self-trust doesn't come from pretending. It comes from living with truth and discipline. That truth might be uncomfortable at first, but it will set you free. Another way to build trust is to reflect on your past. Look back at moments when you made a decision, took a risk, or stood up for something. How did it feel? What did you learn? What strengths did you show? What did that moment teach you about who you are? You've already survived more than you give yourself credit for. You've already made decisions that shaped your life. Remind yourself of that. Use your own story as proof that you are capable of deciding well, growing strong, and rising again. And remember, Trust is a relationship, just like you build trust with a friend by showing up, being consistent and being honest. You build trust with yourself in the same way. Show up, be consistent, be honest, do what you said you would do. That's how the bond deepens. That's how you create a sense of inner peace that doesn't depend on outside validation. There will be times when things don't go as planned, when you follow your instincts and the outcome still feels messy or painful. But even then, self-trust can remain, because trust is not based on getting it right. It's based on knowing you did what felt right for you at the time. It's based on knowing you will face whatever comes next with strength and grace. And if it needs to be corrected, you'll correct it. If you need to learn, you'll learn. If you need to begin again, you will. That kind of trust is powerful. It changes how you walk into rooms. It changes how you handle challenges. It changes how you pursue your goals. Because when you trust yourself, you don't waste time second-guessing. You don't ask for permission. You move, you speak, you try. And that movement opens doors. That effort builds momentum. That courage transforms your life. You don't need to be perfect to trust yourself. You don't need a flawless track record. You need to decide again and again that you are worth believing in, that your voice matters, that your choices count, that your life is yours to lead. And you need to prove that to yourself. Not once, but every day. Start today. Choose something simple that you've been avoiding. Make the decision, take the step, follow through. Then do it again tomorrow, and the day after that. With each step, that trust grows. With each step, you become stronger. With each step, you build the life that's waiting for you. One decision at a time. Chapter 2. Start each morning by choosing your own mindset. The way you start your morning shapes everything that follows. Your thoughts, when you wake up, are not just random feelings. They are signals. They influence your energy, your focus, and the way you carry yourself into the day. Most people don't realize this. They open their eyes and immediately reach for their phones. They start reacting, emails, notifications, other people's priorities. From the very first minute, they give away their power without even noticing. But if you want to believe in yourself and achieve meaningful things, you must do something different. You must begin your day by choosing your own mindset. Choosing your mindset doesn't mean forcing a fake smile or pretending everything is perfect. It means deciding what you want to stand for before the world tells you who to be. It means asking yourself, what kind of day do I want to create, and who do I want to be in the face of everything that comes my way? That one decision made first thing in the morning can change the way you think, feel, and act for the rest of the day. It gives you control. It reminds you that you are the one steering your life. There are two ways to live. One is reactive. You wait to see what the world throws at you, and then you respond. The other is intentional. You set your mind first, and then you meet the world on your terms. The first leaves you feeling overwhelmed, defensive, tired. The second gives you focus, resilience, and power. And the difference between the two often begins with how you handle the first 10 minutes of your morning. That small window before the noise, before the distractions, before the demands, is your opportunity to choose how you want to think. You have to train yourself to slow down in those moments. Don't rush. Don't jump into busyness. Wake up and sit quietly, even if just for a few minutes. Ask yourself what matters today. What deserves your energy? What thoughts will serve you, and what thoughts you need to let go of? If you start your day thinking you're behind, that today is going to be stressful, or that you're not ready for what's ahead, you carry that energy into everything, and that mindset will shape how you speak, how you make decisions, and how you treat yourself. But if you begin your day grounded, centered, and clear, your behavior changes. You approach challenges with more patience. You speak with more confidence. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding intentionally. It doesn't mean the day will be perfect. It means you will be more prepared. The truth is, life will always be unpredictable. You can't control every event, but you can choose how you'll meet it, and that choice starts with your mindset each morning. This is why morning routines matter, not because of the routine itself, but because of what it trains in you. It trains discipline. It trains awareness. It trains you to show up for yourself before the world asks anything of you. You don't need a complicated routine. You don't need to wake up at 5 a.m. and run 10 miles, but you do need to give yourself space. Even 10 minutes of quiet, of reflection, of setting your mind, can change the entire trajectory of your day. Start simple. Before checking your phone, take a moment to ask, what do I need most today? Is it focus, patience, courage, kindness? Whatever it is, say it out loud. Claim, let your mind hear your intention. Then ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today to practice this? That question turns your mindset into action. It gives you a clear reason to move forward, even when the day gets hard. If you wake up with anxiety or self-doubt, that's okay. Don't ignore it, but don't let it rule you either. Acknowledge it, then shift. Say to yourself, this thought is here, but it doesn't define my day. Then redirect your focus. Ask yourself, what can I focus on instead that makes me stronger? This isn't about pretending negative thoughts don't exist. It's about choosing where to place your energy. You are not the voice of doubt in your mind. You are the one who hears it, and you can decide whether to believe it or not. Another powerful way to shape your morning mindset is through gratitude. When you start your day by noticing what's good in your life, you shift out of scarcity and into abundance. And from that place, you stop chasing worth. You start acting from it. You're no longer trying to prove yourself. You're simply showing up as someone who already knows they matter. That shift changes how you handle pressure, how you speak to others, and how you navigate uncertainty. You can also use your mornings to visualize, not in some magical way, but in a practical, grounded way. Picture how you want to handle today's challenges. Imagine yourself staying calm, speaking with confidence, keeping your focus. Visualizing this helps you feel more prepared. It trains your mind to expect success, not failure. And the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. You begin to believe, not because someone told you to, but because you've seen yourself handle hard things again and again. One of the most overlooked parts of mindset is language. What you say to yourself matters. If you wake up thinking, I'm so tired I can't do this, today's going to be awful, your body and actions will follow that script. But if you train yourself to say something more helpful, like today is a chance to grow, or I'm ready for whatever comes, you shift your mental state. This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about choosing words that move you forward instead of holding you back. Over time, your morning mindset becomes a habit. The more you practice setting it, the more automatic it feels. You begin to notice the days you skip it. Your thoughts feel more scattered, your emotions more reactive, your energy lower. But when you start your day with intention, you walk differently. You speak with purpose. You stay grounded even when things go sideways. You stop being a victim of your environment and start being the creator of it. It's easy to think mindset is some luxury, something people do when they have free time. But that's not true. Choosing your mindset is survival. It's how you stay steady in a chaotic world. It's how you keep your dignity when life gets hard. It's how you build the kind of self-belief that doesn't break under pressure. And that's not something you can afford to ignore. Because every day you don't choose your mindset, someone else will choose it for you. a stressful email, a negative comment, a memory from the past. Any of these can hijack your mind if you let them. But you don't have to. You can start tomorrow, no matter how your life looks right now. You can wake up, sit still for 5 minutes, and ask, what kind of person do I want to be today? You can decide to carry courage instead of fear, discipline instead of distraction, focus instead of doubt. It won't be perfect, but it will be powerful, and each time you do it, you build a stronger version of yourself, one that can believe, achieve, and lead without waiting for the world to catch up. You already have the ability, you just need to begin, and every morning gives you that chance. Again, Chapter 3, write your goals down and review them daily. If you want to make progress in life, you have to get clear about where you're going. You can't just carry vague hopes in your head and expect your life to move forward. People who succeed, who grow, who achieve things that matter to them, don't leave their goals up to memory. They write them down. Not once, not for a special occasion, but every single day. Writing your goals is not just about organization. It's about commitment. When you write something down, you turn a thought into a decision. You take an idea and give it direction, and that direction is what most people are missing. So many people feel stuck, not because they lack potential, but because they lack clarity. They go through the motions, they show up to work, they talk about change, but nothing moves. They feel frustrated, drained, and confused, because deep down they don't know what they're working toward. They don't have a target, they don't have anything pulling them forward. But the moment you begin to write your goals down daily, that changes. You start to think differently. You start to make decisions with purpose. You stop drifting and begin to act with focus. When you write your goals down, you are reminding yourself of what matters. You are keeping your priorities at the front of your mind instead of buried under stress, distractions, and other people's opinions. You are telling yourself, this is what I care about. This is what I'm building. This is why I'm pushing forward. And that simple act changes your energy. It sharpens your choices. It gives you a reason to say no to things that waste your time. Without that reminder, you lose direction fast. You get pulled in 10 different directions. You get busy with things that don't matter. And before you know it, another week is gone, and your goals are no closer. Writing your goals daily keeps you honest. It exposes your patterns. It forces you to confront whether your actions match your ambition. Because if you write the same goal every day and nothing changes, you're forced to ask, what am I really doing here? That discomfort is necessary. It wakes you up. It pushes you to stop lying to yourself. It helps you adjust your habits, your mindset, your discipline. And the more honest you are, the more progress you make. Goals don't grow in fantasy, they grow in action. And action comes when your goals stay visible. One reason people avoid writing their goals is because they fear the pressure. Writing it down makes it real, it makes it measurable, and that can feel scary. Because now you have something to live up to. Now you have something you can fail at. But that's exactly why it's powerful. You will never grow if you only aim for what feels safe. You will never become who you could be if you avoid setting real targets. Writing your goals each day invites discomfort. It invites effort. It invites responsibility. And those are the very things that build a meaningful life. Writing daily also helps your brain stay aligned. When you see your goals repeatedly, your subconscious begins to work toward them. You start noticing ideas, people, and opportunities that support your goals because your mind is tuned in. It's not magic, it's awareness. You are simply creating a focused mind in a distracted world. You are training yourself to remember what matters every single morning, and that training shows up in your decisions. It influences how you spend your time, how you talk, what you read, what you practice, and even how you rest. You don't need to write paragraphs. Just clear, honest goals in your own words. Short sentences, direct statements, no fluff. Earn this, finish this, become this, fix this, practice this. These are not wishes, they are instructions. The more clearly you write them, the more seriously your mind will take them. Don't overthink it. You're not writing to impress anyone. You're writing to stay accountable to yourself. And this is important. Goals are not just about achievements. They're about identity. When you write your goals daily, you are not just reminding yourself what to do. You are reminding yourself who you want to become. You are setting a standard for your character. You are choosing to be someone who lives with direction. And that shift changes how you carry yourself. You speak differently. You move with more purpose. You start to see yourself as someone who follows through. And that belief becomes fuel. Reviewing your goals is just as important as writing them. Look at them each day and ask, am I moving closer? What worked yesterday? What needs to change today? What one step can I take right now? That review process turns goals into action. It breaks big dreams into daily effort. It reminds you that you don't have to do everything at once. You just have to keep going. Keep showing up, keep refining. And the more you review, the more momentum you build. Sometimes your goals will change. That's okay. You'll learn more about yourself. You'll discover better paths. But the habit of writing and reviewing your goals will stay useful no matter what you're aiming for. It's not about locking yourself into one plan forever. It's about staying awake in your life. It's about being someone who pays attention to where they're going and takes the steps to get there. This habit is not hard. It doesn't take hours, but it does require discipline. You will have mornings when you don't feel like doing it. You will have days when you feel behind. Do it anyway. That's how you build strength. You are not writing goals to impress anyone. You're doing it to stay true to your path. You're doing it so that when the day gets noisy and chaotic, you don't forget who you are and what matters to you. Write them down. Not once. Not when it's convenient. Every single day, even when you're tired. Even when you feel stuck. Especially then, because those are the days when your mind will try to forget, and those are the days when your goals matter most. You are shaping your identity with every small choice. You are building the kind of mind that can believe in itself without permission from anyone. Start this practice now. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for a new year or a better time. Grab a notebook. Write 5 goals that matter to you. Tomorrow, do it again. Adjust if you need to. Refine them. But keep writing and review them. Every single morning. Let them guide your day. Let them challenge you. Let them wake you up. When you do this daily, you are no longer guessing your way through life. You are deciding your future on purpose. And that changes everything. It changes how you live, how you grow, and how you win. Not all at once, but steadily, powerfully, day by day. That's how people change. That's how you become the person you were always meant to be. Chapter 4. Speak positive truths to yourself with full belief. The words you speak to yourself shape your identity more than anything else. They become the thoughts you believe, the feelings you carry, and the choices you make. When you repeatedly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you always mess things up, that you'll never catch up, those words don't just sit in your mind, they define how you show up in your life. But when you begin to speak positive truths to yourself with full belief, everything starts to shift. You don't wait for confidence to show up, you build it word by word from the inside out. You've been told many things over the years. Some of them were helpful, some of them were hurtful, some got stuck in your mind without you realizing it. Maybe someone once told you that you were lazy, or that you weren't smart enough, or that you didn't have what it takes. Maybe they said it with words, or maybe they said it with silence, with judgment, with the way they looked at you, and maybe you started repeating those messages to yourself, quietly at first, until they became your inner voice. But just because something was said to you or about you doesn't mean it's true, and it definitely doesn't mean you have to keep repeating it. Your voice, the one in your mind, is the voice you hear the most. It's with you every hour of every day, and if you want to believe in yourself and do great things, that voice has to support you, not attack you. It has to tell the truth, not the fear, not the shame, not the doubt. The truth that you are capable, that you can grow, that you've overcome things before, that you don't have to be perfect to make progress, that you are allowed to try again, speak up, show up, and live fully. But here's the key. You can't just say these words without meaning them. You have to believe what you're telling yourself, even if that belief starts small, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. You build belief by choosing what you say and repeating it until your mind adjusts. You don't need to convince yourself with loud hype or fake motivation. You need to speak what is real and empowering. You need to choose words that give you strength and direction, and you need to speak them like you mean them. Look at how you speak to yourself now. Is it kind? Is it helpful? Would you speak to a friend that way? Would you talk to someone you love with the same criticism and pressure you put on yourself? Probably not. So why do you think you need to treat yourself like that to improve? Growth does not come from shame. It comes from truth paired with compassion. When you believe you are worthy of progress, you take better actions. When you believe you can handle discomfort, you stop running from hard things. When you believe you are enough, you stop chasing validation and start acting with purpose. You don't need to lie to yourself. You just need to be honest in a way that moves you forward. For example, instead of saying, "I never do anything right," you can say, "I'm still learning, but I've already come far." Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," you can say, "This is hard, but I've handled hard things before." Instead of saying, "I'll never be good at that," you can say, "I haven't mastered it yet, but I can improve." These are not empty affirmations. These are grounded truths, and they matter. You're not trying to ignore reality. You're trying to tell a better story, the full story. The story that includes your strength, your resilience, your ability to try again. When you speak positive truths with belief, you shift your focus from limitation to possibility. You stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What can I learn?" You stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself the support you've always needed. This is how you become your own ally, not your enemy. Start practicing this every day. Speak out loud if you can. Write it down if that helps. Begin with a few sentences that reflect who you want to be and who you already are. Say things like, "I am growing every day. I am allowed to take up space. I am not behind. I am right where I need to be. I am building a strong and steady mind. I don't have to be perfect to be worthy." Say them slowly. Say them with full belief. Say them like you're planting seeds in your future self. Because you are. You're going to face hard days. You're going to have moments when the old voices return. Doubt will whisper. Fear will shout. But you don't have to agree. You can hear those thoughts and choose something different. You can interrupt them with your truth. You can say, "I see you, but I'm not staying there." And each time you do that, you weaken the grip of the old beliefs and strengthen your new foundation. You must remember that you are not broken. You are becoming. Every single person you admire had to go through the same process. They had to face their own self-doubt. They had to train their mind to think differently. They had to speak words of truth when it would have been easier to stay silent, and so do you. There is no shortcut, but there is a clear path, and it begins with how you speak to yourself. No one else can do this for you. You can receive advice, support and encouragement from others, but if your own voice is tearing you down, it won't stick. You must be the one to change your tone. You must be the one to protect your energy, your mindset, your self-image, and you must be willing to do it daily. Not once, not just when you feel inspired, but every day, especially when it's hard. Because that's when it counts the most. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are not too weak to begin. You are a person with thoughts, choices, and the ability to shape what happens next. Speak like it. Act like it. Live like it. Not because someone else said you could, but because you decided to believe in yourself. Your words are your power. Use them to build. Use them to rise. Use them to break cycles and begin again. Speak the truth that strengthens you, and say it with your whole heart. You don't need to wait until you feel like you're ready. You don't need everything to be perfect. You just need to begin. Today. Right now. With one sentence, spoken with belief. Then another, and another, until your words become your reality. Until your mind becomes your ally. Until your belief becomes your way of life. Chapter 5. Do hard things even when fear tries stopping you. Fear will always show up when something matters. It will whisper that you're not ready, that you're not good enough, that you're not like the people who succeed. It will create doubts that feel so real you can almost hear them as facts. It will give you reasons to wait, to overthink, to shrink. And if you're not careful, you'll believe it. You'll hesitate. You'll tell yourself you'll try later when the timing is better or the fear is gone. But that's how people stay stuck for years. The truth is, the fear never fully goes away. If you wait until you're not scared to do the hard thing, you will wait forever. You don't need to get rid of fear. You need to move anyway. You need to see fear not as a stop sign, but as proof that what you're about to do matters. Doing hard things is what builds belief. Not wishing, not reading, not planning forever. Action is what changes you. And hard things are the gateway to the version of yourself you haven't met yet. They demand something deeper from you. They stretch your confidence, test your mindset, and force you to become more focused and honest. That pressure is how growth happens. Hard things are different for everyone. For some people, it's standing up and speaking the truth. For others, it's walking away from a safe but empty life. It could be starting over, learning something completely new, making a painful decision, setting a strong boundary, or taking a risk that might not work out. Whatever the challenge is for you, you already know it. It's the thing you've been avoiding, the thing you keep talking about but never doing, the thing that lives in the back of your mind as unfinished business. And the longer you avoid it, the heavier it feels. But you don't overcome fear by arguing with it. You overcome it by stepping into action before the fear has a chance to stop you. You take one step, then another. Not because the fear has disappeared, but because you are no longer willing to let it lead your life. That decision, to act in the face of fear, is where courage begins. It doesn't feel like power at first. It feels shaky. It feels uncomfortable. But that's what makes it real. You don't build courage by talking about bravery. You build it by doing what scares you and realizing that you're stronger than you thought. Every hard thing you avoid is a door you refuse to open. Behind that door is a stronger version of yourself, a more capable, grounded, and confident you. But you'll never meet that version if you keep running. You cannot build belief in yourself by hiding. You can't respect yourself while constantly choosing comfort over progress. You have to lean in. You have to push forward when your mind says pause. That is the moment that builds real identity, the moment when you feel fear and move anyway. People often believe that bravery feels bold and loud, but most of the time it's quiet. It happens in small, invisible choices. Getting up early when it would be easier to sleep in. Saying no when it would be easier to please. Making the call you've been dreading. Trying again after failing. Asking for help when you'd rather pretend you're fine. These things don't look dramatic from the outside, but on the inside, they shape everything. Each time you choose to do the hard thing, you give yourself a new reference point. You prove that you can handle more than you thought. That proof stays with you. Fear can't hold you back unless you cooperate with it, and cooperation often looks like excuses. Telling yourself you need more time, more clarity, more preparation, but you don't need more time, you need more truth. And the truth is, you already know what you need to do. It's the thing that keeps resurfacing, the one that bothers you because you haven't faced it yet. That thing is not going away. The only way past it is through it. You can either let it control you, or you can confront it. Every time you back down from something hard, you shrink your belief in yourself. You send a message to your mind that fear is in control, and your mind listens. It becomes harder to act the next time. You start thinking of yourself as someone who avoids discomfort, and the longer you live that way, the more you forget what you're capable of. But the moment you step into the fear, everything changes. You start to remember who you are. You remember that you are not fragile. You remember that progress and fear can coexist, and that you don't need to feel ready to begin. This is why doing hard things matters. Not because they look impressive, but because they give you back your strength. They remind you that you are the one in charge of your growth. You stop waiting for life to get easier. You stop waiting for confidence to magically appear. You start creating your own momentum. You start trusting yourself, not because you always succeed, but because you keep showing up. Some hard things will take time. They won't be solved in one move. That's okay. What matters is that you keep going. One difficult conversation, one honest step, one brave choice. That's how people change. Not all at once, but piece by piece. And over time, fear loses its grip. Not because it disappears, but because you stop letting it control the steering wheel. You learn to hear fear and keep walking anyway. If you want a different life, you have to earn it. And that means choosing hard things on purpose. Not punishing yourself, not forcing constant struggle, but welcoming growth over ease. Because ease never made anyone stronger, and comfort never taught anyone how to lead. Growth comes from resistance. Confidence comes from repetition. And peace comes from knowing that you've faced what you once avoided. There will always be an easier path. One that asks less from you. One that keeps you safe but small. But if you choose that path too often, you start to feel stuck, restless, disconnected from your own potential. That's the price of avoiding hard things. You stay the same. But if you want to move forward, you have to take the other path. The one that asks for courage. The one that demands discipline. The one that calls you to rise. You don't need to feel fearless. You just need to stop letting fear make your choices. You need to decide right now that your goals matter more than your comfort, that your growth matters more than your excuses, that your future deserves the best of you. Not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. You are capable of doing hard things. You have done hard things before. You will do them again. And each time, you will grow stronger, wiser, more prepared for the next challenge. That strength is already in you. You just need to use it. Start today. Face one hard thing. Take one brave step. Prove to yourself that fear doesn't run your life anymore. Let your actions show the world and yourself that you're not here to hide. You're here to rise. Chapter 6. Take small daily steps that prove your worth. Your worth is not something you find out in a single moment. It's not something someone else can hand to you. It's not a feeling that shows up one day and stays forever. Your worth is something you prove to yourself day by day through small and honest actions. These actions don't need to be dramatic or loud. They don't have to impress anyone. But they need to be consistent. They need to come from a place inside you that says, I matter enough to show up for my own life. So many people wait until they feel confident to take action. But that's not how confidence works. You don't wait for belief, you build it. You build it by doing the small things, even when no one is watching. You build it by keeping your promises to yourself. You build it by acting like someone who matters, even on the days when you don't fully feel it. This is what begins to create real self-respect. Not motivation, not approval, just action, repeated daily. It starts with one step, not a perfect step, not a huge leap. Just one clear move in the direction you care about. Maybe it's getting out of bed at the time you said you would. Maybe it's taking 10 minutes to care for your body. Maybe it's practicing a skill you've been meaning to improve. Maybe it's sending a message you've been avoiding, or saying no to something that drains you. Whatever the step is, take it, because each small step reminds your mind that you are a person worth showing up for. The truth is, you don't need to do everything at once. In fact, trying to change your entire life overnight usually leads to burnout or disappointment. What actually works, what actually transforms people, is steady progress. It's the decision to keep moving, even if the movement is small, especially when it's small, because anyone can make a big effort for one day. What separates people who grow from those who stay stuck is this: they keep taking action, even on the boring days, even on the hard days, even when no one claps for them. You can't fake that, you can't shortcut it. But the beautiful part is, you don't need permission to begin. You don't need everything figured out. You just need to decide that you will take one honest step today that supports your growth, and then do it again tomorrow. This isn't about proving your worth to others. It's about reminding yourself every single day that you are becoming someone you can trust. When you act like your life matters, it starts to. When you carry yourself with discipline and care, even in small ways, your mind begins to believe you are capable of more, and over time, you are, because growth is not made of huge breakthroughs. It's built on ordinary effort. It's built on the times you could have quit, but didn't. It's built on choosing effort over excuses. That's what gives you real pride. Not praise, not perfection, but persistence. Each small step becomes evidence. Evidence that you are not powerless, that you are not lost, that you are not someone who gives up. Every day you take action, you are gathering proof that you matter, and that proof adds up. It adds up in your thoughts, your energy, your habits, your identity. It becomes the foundation you stand on when things get tough. You no longer need to ask others if you're doing okay. You'll know, because you'll have the receipts. You'll know that you've shown up for yourself, again and again, even when it was hard. One of the most important things you can do for your mental health, your confidence, and your future is to create a daily system that reinforces your value. This doesn't have to be complicated. Start with 3 small things you do every day, no matter what, that reflect who you're becoming. Maybe it's reading for 10 minutes. Maybe it's writing down your thoughts. Maybe it's exercising or preparing a healthy meal or practicing focus. Whatever it is, let it be a non-negotiable. Not because you're chasing perfection, but because you're proving to yourself that you're committed. You'll be tempted to skip some days. Life will get busy. You'll feel tired or distracted or discouraged. But those are the exact days when it matters most. Those are the days when discipline is stronger than motivation. Those are the days when following through carries more weight, because you're doing it even when it's uncomfortable. You're not chasing a feeling, you're building a habit, and those habits slowly build a person who walks with quiet pride. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day, underestimate what they can do in a year. But if you take one meaningful step each day, you will become a completely different person in 12 months. Not because you forced it, but because you earned it. And every step you took will stay with you. That's how trust is built. That's how belief becomes unshakable. Don't wait for someone to recognize your effort. Don't wait to feel inspired. Take the step because it's who you want to be. Take the step because your future depends on it. Take the step because every time you act with purpose, you strengthen your mind. You become someone who leads instead of follows. Someone who creates instead of reacts. Someone who lives instead of watches from the sidelines. You may not see progress every day. You may not feel different every week. But keep going, because something deeper is happening. You're changing from the inside out. You're building a relationship with yourself that is rooted in respect, not results. And that relationship will guide you through anything. You'll stop needing to prove your worth through other people's opinions. You'll stop waiting to feel confident. You'll start doing the work that makes you proud. This is your life. No one else is coming to do it for you. No one else knows what matters to you as much as you do. So show up, not because everything is perfect, not because you feel unstoppable, but because you're done waiting. You're done making excuses. You're done pretending that small steps don't matter. They do. They matter more than anything else. Start today. Choose one thing that proves you care about your future. Do it with intention. Then do it again tomorrow. Keep doing it until it becomes part of who you are. Let every small action speak a louder truth than your fear. Let every step tell you what you're worth. Not in theory, not in words, but in practice, in effort, in real life. Because the person who takes small daily steps with purpose is the person who becomes powerful beyond what they once believed possible. And that person is you. Chapter 7. Surround yourself with people who build you up. The people you keep close shape the way you see yourself. They affect your mood, your thoughts, your ambition, and your standards. You may not always notice it right away, but over time, their energy either lifts you higher or slowly wears you down. That's why one of the most important things you can do for your growth is to be intentional about who you allow into your life. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your journey. Some people only take, others compete. Some dismiss your progress or make your dreams feel too big. And if you're not careful, you start shrinking to fit into spaces you've outgrown. You start doubting what used to feel possible. You begin carrying other people's fear as if it's your own. But you don't have to live like that. You can choose to create a circle that reflects the person you're becoming, not the one you've been trying to leave behind. You can surround yourself with people who build you up in small but powerful ways. People who see your effort and respect it. People who don't need you to pretend or prove anything. People who challenge you to rise without making you feel like you're never enough. These people exist. They're not perfect, but they're real. And when you find them, you'll feel it. You'll feel more like yourself around them. You'll feel encouraged instead of drained. You'll leave the conversation clearer, lighter, and more motivated. That kind of environment matters. It's not about using others to feel good. It's about aligning your energy with people who remind you what you're capable of. Growth is hard enough on its own. You don't need voices around you that make it harder. You don't need people who mock your discipline, downplay your dreams, or stay silent when you succeed. You need support that is steady, honest, and rooted in mutual respect. You need people who clap for you when you win, and remind you of your strength when you fall. You become like the people you spend time with. Their standards start to influence yours. If you're around people who avoid growth, you'll be tempted to settle. If you're around people who constantly complain, you'll start to see everything as a problem. If you're around people who make excuses, you'll start to believe discipline doesn't matter. But if you're around people who challenge themselves, you'll raise your bar. If you're around people who take ownership of their life, you'll feel inspired to do the same. That's not motivation, it's environment. And environment is one of the most powerful forces in shaping your future. Choosing the right people means paying attention to how you feel after spending time with them. Do you feel more grounded, more capable, more seen? Or do you feel like you have to filter yourself just to be accepted? Do you feel safe to speak about your goals, or do you hide them to avoid judgment? These are not small questions. They reveal the quality of your connection, and the quality of your connections often determines the quality of your mindset. You don't need a huge circle. You don't need to be liked by everyone. What you need are a few solid people who get it. People who listen without rushing to fix you. People who don't make your challenges about them. People who can celebrate your wins without making it a competition. These are the kinds of relationships that fuel growth. They give you a mirror that reflects your best side. They keep you anchored when life gets messy. But you also have to be that person for others. You can't expect support if you don't give it. Show up for people with presence. Don't disappear when they succeed. Don't make everything about yourself. Be honest, be kind, and be consistent. Real support is not about giving people advice all the time. Sometimes it's just sitting with them in silence. Sometimes it's reminding them of their progress when they forget. Sometimes it's just showing up without needing recognition. When you create that kind of energy, you attract the same. If your current environment is filled with negativity, start adjusting it one relationship at a time. You don't need to cut everyone off immediately, but you do need to create boundaries. You can love someone and still limit your time with them. You can care about someone and still choose peace over constant tension. Boundaries are not about being rude. They're about protecting your focus and your mental health. You're not here to fix everyone. You're here to grow, and not everyone is meant to grow with you. As you change, your relationships will change too. Some people won't understand your new mindset. They'll say you've changed, like it's a bad thing. But you have changed. You've decided to live with more intention. You've decided to take ownership of your future, and not everyone will celebrate that. Let them go, or let them watch. But don't let them stop you. You don't need to explain your path to anyone who's not willing to walk with you. You will outgrow some people. That's part of growth. It's painful sometimes, but it's necessary. Holding on to every connection just because of history keeps you stuck in places you've already moved past. Don't stay small to make others comfortable. Don't water yourself down to keep the peace. The right people won't be threatened by your growth. They'll be inspired by it. And if they're not, that's your signal to move forward. Building a strong circle takes time, but you can start now. Start by becoming someone who adds value to every room you enter. Start by being honest about what you need in your relationships. Start by letting go of people who keep you in old patterns. Start by reaching out to those who challenge you to be better. You don't need to beg for support. You just need to be brave enough to demand better for yourself and from the people you keep close. Your circle is either pulling you forward or holding you back. Choose people who build you up, not just with words, but with their example. People who don't just talk about growth, but live it. People who remind you of your goals, not your fears. People who believe in who you are and push you toward who you're becoming. That kind of support isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Because no matter how strong your mindset is, you can't carry your vision alone forever. We all need reminders. We all need someone who sees our strength when we forget. We all need voices around us that say, keep going. You're doing better than you think. Don't stop now. That kind of energy is rare. But when you find it, protect it, nurture it, and become it. For yourself and for the people walking beside you. You don't rise by accident. You rise by surrounding yourself with the right energy. Be clear. Be intentional. Be honest about what helps you grow, and never apologize for choosing peace, strength, and truth over noise, drama, and insecurity. You're building a life. Fill it with people who want to see you win. Not because they need something from you, but because they believe in you, and more than anything, because they know you believe in yourself. Chapter 8. Face your weaknesses by working on them honestly. The hardest part about self-growth is not setting goals or staying motivated. The hardest part is looking at yourself honestly and admitting what needs work. It's easy to talk about dreams and potential. It's harder to face your own weaknesses without running from them. But if you want real progress, if you want to build a life that reflects your highest self, you have to be willing to face what you usually avoid. You have to stop pretending, stop covering, and stop making excuses. You have to sit with the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Your weaknesses don't define you, but ignoring them does keep you from becoming who you could be. Everyone has blind spots, habits that hold them back, reactions that cause damage, and patterns that get in the way. You are not broken because you struggle. You're human. What matters is what you choose to do about it. You can deny it, defend it, or distract yourself from it. Or you can be honest, take responsibility, and begin the work. That choice changes everything. Most people avoid facing their weaknesses because it makes them feel exposed. It challenges their self-image. It threatens their comfort. But real confidence is not pretending to be perfect. It's having the strength to admit where you're weak and still choosing to improve. That's what builds inner power. The person who knows their weaknesses and works on them becomes stronger than the one who tries to hide behind fake strength. Being honest with yourself doesn't mean tearing yourself down. It means being clear. It means looking at your life and asking hard questions. Where do I keep making the same mistakes? What do I avoid because I'm scared I won't be good at it? What traits do I have that cause tension in my relationships? Where do I lack discipline? Where do I blame others instead of taking responsibility? These questions are not meant to shame you. They're meant to wake you up. When you can say, this is where I struggle and I'm going to work on it, you free yourself. You stop being a prisoner of denial. You stop needing to fake strength. You open the door to growth. And from that moment forward, every bit of progress feels real, because you're not pretending anymore. You're not hiding. You're not trying to protect an image. You're building character. Working on your weaknesses means creating habits that make you stronger in specific ways. If you're impatient, start practicing pause and self-awareness before reacting. If you're inconsistent, build a structure that makes you show up every day. If you're defensive, practice listening without interrupting. If you procrastinate, create small deadlines and finish things even when you don't feel like it. Change doesn't happen through self-hate. It happens through small, daily efforts, rooted in honesty. You don't have to fix everything at once. You just have to pick one area of weakness and begin improving it with intention. Track your progress. Notice your reactions. Adjust when you slip. Celebrate when you grow. The more you do this, the more you realize your weaknesses are not permanent flaws. They're signals. They're showing you where your work is. And where there is work, there is opportunity. You don't need to feel ashamed of your gaps. You need to feel responsible for filling them. There is a quiet confidence that comes from this kind of work. It's not loud or boastful. It's not about proving anything to anyone. It's the confidence of knowing that you are not afraid to face your own truth, that you are not fragile, that you are capable of real change. This type of confidence cannot be faked. It can only be earned through effort. People who are afraid to face their weaknesses often live behind excuses. They say things like, "That's just how I am," or "I've always been this way," or "It's not my fault." But those sentences are not facts. They're defense mechanisms. They are the language of avoidance, and every time you use them, you delay your growth. You choose comfort over courage. But when you start saying things like, "I want to get better at this," "I didn't handle that well," or "this needs to change," you take back your power. You move from victim to leader in your own life. You're not weak because you have flaws. You're strong because you're willing to face them. You're willing to step into discomfort instead of hiding behind your ego. You're willing to look at your own behavior and ask, what needs to change here? Most people spend their entire lives protecting their weaknesses instead of improving them. They build their lives around avoidance, and because of that they never truly evolve. You don't have to be one of those people. You can be the kind of person who confronts your gaps and turns them into strength. You can choose to be aware instead of blind, focused instead of distracted, accountable instead of defensive. You can create a life where every weakness you've had becomes a lesson, a skill, and a source of deeper strength. This kind of work is not always visible to others. No one will see you choosing not to react with anger. No one will see you waking up early to train consistency. No one will see you taking a deep breath instead of lashing out, but you'll know. And the person you become from those quiet efforts will be unshakable. Don't let the idea of improvement make you feel broken. Let it remind you that you're alive, that you care, that you still have time to become better. The people who grow the most are not the ones with perfect lives. They're the ones who stop lying to themselves. They're the ones who do the work in silence, with grit and humility. Every time you choose to face your weaknesses honestly, you shift the way you see yourself. You stop seeing yourself as a person limited by flaws and start seeing yourself as someone capable of transformation. That mindset is rare, and it's powerful. It allows you to walk into any room knowing that you're not pretending to be strong. You are strong because you're not running from anything anymore. So take a breath. Look at the areas in your life that need work. Pick one. Start small. Track your patterns. Adjust your actions. Give yourself time, but don't give yourself excuses. You don't need to become perfect. You need to become consistent. You need to become honest. You need to become the kind of person who doesn't flinch at the truth. Your weaknesses are not your identity. They're just parts of you that need care, attention, and effort. And when you give them that, they stop being weaknesses. They become fuel for your growth. They become reminders of how far you've come. They become part of the story you tell when someone asks you how you built such strong character. And you'll say, "I stopped hiding. I did the work. I faced myself and didn't give up." That's the truth that will carry you forward for the rest of your life. Chapter 9. Celebrate every win, no matter how small it feels. Most people wait for the big moment before they let themselves feel proud. They wait until the entire goal is achieved, until the world claps, until it's obvious they've made it. But real growth doesn't work that way. The path to anything meaningful is filled with small steps, quiet victories, and unseen effort. And if you don't learn how to celebrate the small wins, you'll constantly feel like you're not doing enough. You'll move forward but still feel stuck. You'll grow but fail to recognize your progress. And over time, you'll start believing the lie that you're behind, even when you're moving forward. Celebrating small wins is not about lowering your standards. It's about honoring your process. Every day that you show up, every time you make a better choice, every moment you resist an old habit that matters, that is evidence of change. And if you don't learn to acknowledge it, you'll burn out trying to reach some future version of success that never feels close enough. You'll become addicted to outcomes and forget to notice transformation. That's how people give up, even when they're making progress. They don't see it because they don't stop to feel it. The truth is, you need those moments of recognition, not from others, from yourself. You need to be able to pause and say, "That was hard, and I did it anyway." You need to look at the small changes you've made and give yourself credit, because no one else knows what it took for you to get out of bed on a hard day. No one else saw the effort behind the discipline, the mental struggle behind the smile, the internal battle you won, just to stay safe. That's not small. That's everything. If you want to stay motivated, you can't just focus on the finish line. You need to build energy through momentum. And momentum is built by acknowledging forward movement, no matter how small it looks. It's not about pretending that everything is perfect. It's about noticing where it's better than it was yesterday. That shift in focus helps you feel progress, instead of only chasing it. When you celebrate small wins, you tell your brain that what you're doing matters. You create positive reinforcement. You build a connection between effort and reward. That makes it easier to keep going, because progress that feels good becomes sustainable. But when you ignore your own effort and focus only on what's missing, you slowly kill your motivation. You start asking, what's the point? Even when the point is right in front of you. Every single person who has ever reached a goal started with small action. No one wakes up and becomes excellent overnight. They improve one choice at a time, and they keep going, because they track the little shifts, not just the big outcomes. The small win of doing the hard thing once. The small win of showing up even when it didn't feel exciting. The small win of catching a negative thought and replacing it. These moments stack. And if you learn to honor them, they become fuel. Somewhere along the way, many people were taught that only big accomplishments count. That celebrating the little stuff makes you weak or arrogant. That's not true. What makes you weak is needing constant external validation. What makes you strong is knowing your own progress and celebrating it from within. That's not arrogance. That's self-awareness. And it leads to deeper confidence. The kind that doesn't need attention or approval to feel real. If you're trying to build a better life, you're going to have a lot of quiet days. Days where the work isn't exciting. Days where no one notices. Days where the only thing you can point to is that you didn't give up. Those are the days that require celebration, because that's where your character is built. That's where your future is decided. Not in the highlight moments, but in the ordinary ones. Make it a habit to reflect on your wins each day. Before you go to sleep, ask yourself, what did I do today that I'm proud of? It doesn't need to be groundbreaking. Maybe you stayed calm when you wanted to react. Maybe you stayed focused for an hour. Maybe you took a walk, cleaned your space, or made time to rest instead of quitting on yourself. These things matter. Write them down. Say them out loud. Let them register. Let them count. When you do this often enough, You start to shift your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who always needs to do more. You start seeing yourself as someone who is already becoming, someone who is building a strong life through effort, intention, and consistency. That shift changes how you feel about yourself. It changes how you carry yourself. It changes how you respond to challenges because you know your own effort and you respect it. Celebrating your wins also builds resilience, because when you recognize your own strength, it's easier to keep going when things get hard. You remember that you've been here before, that you've done hard things, that you've made progress before, and you can do it again. It gives you perspective. It keeps you grounded in the truth, instead of being swayed by the emotion of a single bad moment. Don't let society's obsession with big outcomes fool you. The people who live fulfilling lives are the ones who pay attention to the small things, who know how to find pride in a quiet improvement, who keep showing up, not for applause, but because it matters. You can become one of those people. All it takes is a daily decision to notice what you did right. This is not about being soft or lazy. It's about being intentional. When you treat your growth like it's worth noticing, you train your mind to stay focused. You build a sense of identity that is rooted in progress, and you create a life that doesn't rely on external approval to feel meaningful. That kind of life is solid. It's sustainable. It doesn't rise and fall with the opinions of others. It grows because it's built on truth. You are doing better than you think. You are growing in ways that might not be visible yet, but if you look closely, you'll see it. In your decisions, in your habits, in your effort. Celebrate that. Not once. Not just when you finish something, but every day. Celebrate the fact that you care enough to try. Celebrate the fact that you're still here, still learning, still improving. That is not small. That is how transformation begins. And it all starts with one honest moment, where you say to yourself, I'm proud of what I did today. Let that be enough. Let that be the reason you keep going. Chapter 10. Train your focus by removing what distracts you. Focus is one of the most valuable skills you can develop, yet it's also one of the most difficult to maintain in today's world. The constant noise, endless notifications, and an overwhelming amount of choices pull your attention in every direction. When your focus is scattered, progress slows down and frustration rises. The key to getting ahead is learning how to train your focus by removing the distractions that steal your energy and attention. This isn't just about working harder or longer, it's about working smarter and being intentional about where you put your mental power. Distractions come in many forms. Some are obvious, like social media, TV, or unnecessary meetings. Others are more subtle, like worrying about things you cannot control, multitasking, or internal doubts that interrupt your flow. Each distraction chips away at your ability to fully engage with what matters most. When you allow distractions to dominate, you end up exhausted, yet behind on your goals. You feel busy but not productive. You end up in a loop of frustration because you're trying to do everything but achieving little. The first step to training your focus is identifying what distracts you most. You might think you know, but often the biggest distractions hide in plain sight. Maybe it's scrolling your phone without thinking. Maybe it's jumping between tasks without finishing any. Maybe it's constant interruptions from people or even your own thoughts. Take time to observe where your attention drifts. Notice what breaks your concentration and how often it happens. Awareness is crucial because you cannot change what you don't see. Once you understand your distractions, create boundaries to protect your focus. This might mean turning off notifications on your phone or computer. It could mean setting specific times to check emails or messages instead of responding immediately. It might mean creating a workspace that limits interruptions or telling others when you need focused time. Boundaries help you control your environment instead of letting it control you. They are a form of respect you give yourself, because your goals deserve uninterrupted attention. Training your focus also means learning to say no. Saying yes to every request, every distraction, or every temptation dilutes your energy. It's easy to fall into the trap of trying to do everything or please everyone, but each yes to something unimportant is a no to your priorities. Learn to recognize what truly matters and have the courage to say no to anything that pulls you away from it. This simple practice increases your capacity to concentrate on what makes a difference in your life. Another powerful way to improve your focus is to work in dedicated blocks of time. The human brain is not designed to sustain high levels of concentration for hours on end. Instead, it thrives in short bursts of deep work, followed by breaks. Use techniques like the Pomodoro method, where you focus intensely for 25 minutes and then rest for 5. These cycles allow your mind to refresh and prevent burnout. Over time, you'll notice your ability to concentrate improves and your work quality rises. It's equally important to guard your mind against internal distraction. Thoughts that worry, doubt, or overthink can be just as disruptive as external interruptions. When you catch yourself spiraling into negative or unproductive thoughts, gently bring your attention back to the task. Techniques like mindfulness or simple breathing exercises can help train your brain to stay present. The more you practice returning your focus to the moment, the stronger your mental muscles become. Clarity about your goals also strengthens focus. When you know exactly what you want and why, distractions lose their power. Unclear goals create mental clutter because your brain is uncertain about what to prioritize. Define your top priorities clearly and remind yourself of them regularly. This helps your mind filter out what doesn't serve your purpose and zoom in on what does. A clear destination naturally sharpens your attention on the path to get there. Simplifying your environment supports focus too. Our lives have become cluttered, not only with physical items, but also with digital noise and unnecessary commitments. Decluttering your space reduces visual distractions and creates a calm setting that invites concentration. The same applies to your schedule. Cut down on activities that don't align with your goals or values. Streamline your daily routine so that your energy is reserved for what truly counts. Consistency is key in training focus. Just like building any muscle, your brain needs regular exercise. Start by committing to focused work sessions daily, even if short. Gradually increase the length of your deep work as your stamina grows. Resist the temptation to multitask, which weakens focus and reduces efficiency. Instead, train yourself to give one task your full attention before moving on. This habit builds momentum and reduces mental fatigue. Avoiding distractions is not about perfection. You will have days when your mind wanders or when interruptions are unavoidable. The difference is how you respond. Each time you notice your focus slipping, acknowledge it without judgment and gently return to what matters. This practice strengthens your mental resilience and deepens your control over attention. Over time, your brain learns to stay on track more naturally, even in distracting environments. Training your focus changes more than just your productivity. It affects your self-esteem, your decision-making, and your overall quality of life. When you can concentrate deeply, you feel more capable and less overwhelmed. You complete tasks faster and with better results. You create space for creativity and problem-solving. Your stress decreases because you're no longer scattered or reactive. Focus gives you the freedom to direct your energy instead of being pulled in every direction. Remember that your attention is a resource. How you spend it shapes your reality. Each time you allow distraction, you weaken your ability to live intentionally. Each time you protect your focus, you invest in your future. The best investment you can make is in training your mind to focus on what truly matters. Because when your focus is clear and strong, your goals come within reach faster and with greater satisfaction. Start by removing one distraction today. Turn off your phone notifications. Close the tabs you don't need. Set a timer for focused work. Tell someone you need uninterrupted time. Notice how it feels to concentrate without constant interruption. Then build from there. Train your focus like a muscle with patience, persistence, and clear intention. This skill will change how you live, work, and achieve. It will empower you to believe in yourself and accomplish the cool things you're meant to do. Chapter 11. Create powerful routines that support your real growth. Building a life of real growth requires more than just motivation or occasional bursts of effort. It demands consistent actions that become automatic routines that support the person you want to become, without requiring constant willpower. Powerful routines are the backbone of transformation because they create structure and predictability in an otherwise chaotic world. When your routines align with your goals and values, they serve as a steady engine propelling you forward, day after day. Many people misunderstand routines as rigid schedules or boring habits that limit freedom. In truth, the strongest routines are flexible enough to adapt, but consistent enough to anchor your progress. They remove decision fatigue by turning important actions into daily rituals that happen naturally. This frees your energy to focus on creativity, problem solving, and meaningful work rather than wasting it on wondering what to do next. Creating routines that genuinely support growth means carefully designing your day around your priorities, not distractions. Start by examining where you currently spend your time and energy. Identify habits that pull you away from growth and replace them with ones that bring you closer. Powerful routines aren't about doing everything at once. They're about making deliberate choices to improve key areas of your life consistently. This could be as simple as setting a morning ritual to center yourself before the day begins, or a nightly practice to review your progress and plan the next day. Small, consistent actions compound over time into massive change. The foundation of effective routines is intention. Each routine should have a clear purpose connected to your goals. Without that, routines become empty tasks that feel like chores. Ask yourself why a routine matters and how it supports the person you want to be. When your routines carry meaning, you're more likely to stick with them. They become acts of self-respect rather than obligations. This mindset shift is critical because it moves your routine from external pressure to internal commitment. Another key is simplicity. Overcomplicating routines leads to overwhelm and failure. Powerful routines focus on a few high-impact actions rather than a long list of tasks. Prioritize quality over quantity. For example, instead of trying to overhaul your entire day, start with a simple habit like drinking water first thing or writing down 3 priorities. When you master one routine, add another. Gradually, these build into a system that supports your growth. Holistically, consistency is more important than intensity. It's better to do a small positive action every day than a huge effort once in a while. Consistency builds trust in yourself. It rewires your brain to expect progress. It creates momentum that keeps you moving even when motivation wanes. Remember, transformation is a marathon, not a sprint. Powerful routines keep you steady on that path. Accountability also plays a role in sustaining routines. Find ways to hold yourself responsible without relying solely on motivation. This could be journaling your progress, sharing your goals with a trusted friend, or using habit tracking apps. External accountability adds layers of commitment that help you follow through. But the deepest accountability comes from knowing that your routines shape your future self, someone you want to respect and become. It's essential to be flexible and forgiving with your routines. Life will throw unexpected challenges, and rigid routines can feel like prisons when circumstances change. Powerful routines have room to breathe. If you miss a day or have to adjust your schedule, that's okay. What matters is returning to your routine without guilt or judgment. This resilience ensures your progress continues even when life isn't perfect. Routines are also tools for managing your energy, not just your time. Pay attention to when you feel most alert and focused during the day. Schedule your most important growth activities during these peak periods. Use less demanding tasks for low-energy times. This alignment enhances your effectiveness and reduces burnout. A well-designed routine honors your natural rhythms rather than forcing you to fight against them. Incorporate moments of reflection within your routines. Regularly assess what's working and what isn't. Be honest about whether a habit is supporting your growth or draining you. Adjust accordingly. Growth is dynamic, and your routines should evolve as you do. This ongoing tuning keeps your practices relevant and effective. Celebrate progress within your routines. When a habit sticks for a week or a month, acknowledge your commitment. These small celebrations reinforce positive behavior and keep you motivated. Treat routines as opportunities to build confidence through consistency, not just as tasks to complete. Powerful routines create a positive feedback loop. The more you follow them, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more you want to keep going. This cycle strengthens your belief in yourself and your ability to achieve cool things. It removes the chaos and uncertainty that often block progress, replacing them with calm, focused energy directed at your true priorities. When your routines support your real growth, you stop relying on willpower alone. You build habits that carry you through hard days, doubts, and distractions. You cultivate a lifestyle where positive actions are your default mode. This makes success less about motivation and more about discipline, less about luck and more about design. Start today by choosing one routine that aligns with your growth. Make it simple and meaningful. Commit to doing it daily for a week. Notice how it feels to act intentionally instead of reacting to circumstances. Adjust if needed, but don't give up. Layer another routine next week. Keep building. Over time, you'll have a powerful system that supports your growth in every area of life. Your routines are the foundation of your future. They determine whether you drift or direct your life. Create routines that honor your goals, your values, and your potential. Build a daily practice that reflects who you want to become. This is how belief in yourself transforms from wishful thinking into unstoppable action. This is how cool things happen, not by chance, but by design. Chapter 12. Let go of past mistakes without holding regret. Holding on to past mistakes often feels like carrying a heavy weight that drags you down at every step. Many people replay their errors over and over in their minds, believing that this will help them avoid repeating them. Instead, what happens is the opposite. Regret keeps you stuck, drains your energy, and clouds your vision for the future. Letting go of these regrets doesn't mean forgetting what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It means freeing yourself from the chains of the past so you can move forward without constant self-judgment or guilt. When you cling to mistakes, you give them power over your present and future. They become a story you tell yourself that limits your potential. That story might sound like "I'm not good enough," or "I always fail," or "I don't deserve success." These thoughts form a prison where you feel trapped by your history rather than empowered by your growth. The truth is that your mistakes do not define you. Your response to them does. You have the power to choose how much space they occupy in your mind and heart. Letting go of regret starts with acceptance. Accept what happened fully without resistance or denial. Accept that you made the best decision you could with the knowledge and resources you had at the time. Acceptance is not giving yourself permission to repeat mistakes, but rather acknowledging reality as it is. This honesty clears mental clutter and creates space for healing. You stop wasting energy fighting against the past and start focusing on what you can control now. Once you accept your past mistakes, shift your focus to the lessons they offer. Every error carries a hidden message about what to change or improve. Instead of ruminating on failure, ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? This perspective transforms mistakes from sources of shame into stepping stones toward wisdom. You don't erase the pain, but you use it as fuel to grow stronger and wiser. This mindset shift empowers you to move from victimhood to ownership. Forgiving yourself is an essential part of letting go. Self-forgiveness doesn't mean excusing bad behavior or avoiding responsibility. It means treating yourself with the same compassion you would offer a friend in pain. Understand that making mistakes is part of being human. You deserve kindness and patience as you learn and evolve. When you practice self-forgiveness, you break the cycle of harsh self-criticism that keeps regret alive. You create a foundation of self-trust that supports your future growth. Letting go also involves releasing the need to control how others see you because of your past. Often, regret is tied to fear of judgment or rejection. You worry that your mistakes make you unworthy of respect or love, but your worth is not determined by your history. It's determined by your inherent value as a person. When you stop defining yourself by your past, you reclaim your identity and freedom. You begin to show up authentically, without fear that others will reject the real you. Another powerful step is to create new meaning around your past. Instead of seeing your mistakes as failures, view them as chapters in your growth story. They are evidence that you dared to try, risk, and learn. This reframing doesn't minimize the difficulty, but honors your courage to face challenges. When you own your story with honesty and pride, regret loses its grip. You transform your narrative from one of defeat to one of resilience. Holding on to regret often blocks gratitude for what you have now. When your mind is stuck in the past, it's hard to appreciate present opportunities, relationships, or progress. Letting go opens your eyes to what's working in your life. Gratitude shifts your focus from loss to abundance. It reminds you that despite mistakes, you have value, resources, and potential. Practicing gratitude daily rewires your brain to notice good instead of dwelling on what's missing. It's also important to remember that letting go of regret is a process, not a single event. It takes time, patience, and practice. Some days will feel easier than others. You might find old regrets resurfacing unexpectedly. When this happens, gently remind yourself that growth is non-linear. Each time you choose to release regret, you build mental strength and resilience. You learn to respond to the past with kindness instead of punishment. Surrounding yourself with supportive people can help in this journey. When you share your struggles with trusted friends or mentors, you create space for healing and perspective. Sometimes others see strengths and growth in you that you cannot see yourself. Their encouragement can remind you that your past mistakes are not your entire story. Connection with others breaks isolation and fosters hope. In practical terms, journaling can be a powerful tool for letting go. Writing about your regrets allows you to externalize painful thoughts and examine them objectively. You can write letters of forgiveness to yourself or others without needing to send them. You can track your progress in releasing regret and cultivating self-compassion. This process helps you organize your feelings and create a mental roadmap toward freedom. Mindfulness and meditation also support letting go by training your mind to stay present. Regret lives in the past, but your life unfolds in the now. When you learn to bring your attention back to the present moment, you reduce the power of painful memories. This practice creates mental space where healing and growth can occur naturally. Finally, committing to action moves you from regret to growth. Taking steps toward your goals, no matter how small, shows that your past does not control your future. Action builds confidence and creates new experiences that replace old stories. It proves to yourself that you are more than your mistake. Letting go of past mistakes without holding regret is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. It frees you to live fully and authentically. It opens the door to real growth and achievement. It releases the heavy burden of what-ifs, so you can embrace what's next. This freedom is not just an idea, it's a practical way to transform your mindset and your life. You don't have to be perfect or erase your past to move forward. You only need to choose peace over regret. Choose growth over guilt. Choose to believe in your ability to learn, change, and thrive. This choice is powerful. It sets you on a path where your past mistakes become lessons, your regrets become stories of resilience, and your future becomes full of possibility. Every moment you let go is a moment you step closer to the life you want to build. Chapter 13. Challenge every doubt with action and real evidence. Doubt is a natural part of the human experience, but it can easily become a barrier that stops you from reaching your full potential. When doubt creeps in, it whispers that you're not good enough, that failure is inevitable, or that your dreams are unrealistic. Left unchecked, these thoughts can spiral into a paralysis that keeps you stuck in place. The most effective way to overcome doubt is not by trying to ignore it, but by challenging it with action and real evidence. This means confronting your fears directly and proving to yourself what you are truly capable of through tangible results. When doubt appears, it often thrives on uncertainty and assumptions rather than facts. You might catch yourself thinking, "I'll never succeed," or "I'm not qualified," but these are beliefs rather than truths. Beliefs that can be questioned and tested. To challenge doubt, start by examining what evidence you actually have to support those negative thoughts. Often, you'll discover that doubt is based on fear or past experiences that no longer apply. By separating feelings from facts, you can begin to dismantle the mental walls that keep you confined. Taking action is the strongest antidote to doubt. Even the smallest step forward sends a message to your brain that you're capable. Action creates momentum and breaks the cycle of rumination that fuels uncertainty. Instead of waiting for confidence to appear before acting, act first and watch confidence grow as a result. This reversal is powerful because it shifts you from a passive victim of doubt to an active creator of your reality. Each action you take, no matter how small, chips away at fear and builds evidence that you can handle challenges. Real evidence comes from consistent effort and results over time. It's not about perfection or immediate success. It's about accumulating proof that your doubts are exaggerated or false. Keep track of your wins, progress, and lessons learned. When doubt resurfaces, pull out this evidence and remind yourself that you've overcome obstacles before and are capable of doing it again. This practice rewires your brain to trust your abilities rather than your fears. It's also important to test your doubts by setting small experiments. If you believe you can't speak confidently in public, volunteer to share your ideas in a meeting or record a short video. If you think you lack skill, take a class or practice regularly. By treating doubts as hypotheses to be tested rather than facts to be feared, you empower yourself to seek truth instead of avoiding risk. This mindset encourages curiosity and growth instead of avoidance and stagnation. Challenge doubt by focusing on what you can control. Doubt often arises from worrying about outcomes or things outside your influence. Redirect your energy toward actions within your power, like improving your skills, preparing thoroughly, or seeking feedback. Concentrating on controllable factors reduces anxiety and builds confidence through mastery. When you focus on effort rather than outcome, doubt loses its grip, because success becomes about doing your best, not guaranteeing perfection. Surrounding yourself with supportive people helps combat doubt too. Share your goals and fears with trusted friends or mentors who can provide encouragement and perspective. Others often see strengths in you that you overlook. Their belief can reinforce your own and provide motivation during moments of uncertainty. Accountability also increases your likelihood of taking action despite doubt, turning intentions into reality. Reframe failure as feedback rather than proof of inadequacy. Doubt intensifies when you view mistakes as disasters. Instead, see failures as necessary steps toward mastery and growth. Each setback provides valuable information about what to adjust and improve. This attitude weakens doubt because it removes the fear of failure and replaces it with a curiosity to learn. When failure becomes a teacher instead of a threat, you are free to take risks and move forward with confidence. Practice self-compassion when doubt arises. Harsh self-criticism amplifies negative thoughts and drains motivation. Treat yourself with kindness and patience as you would a friend facing challenges. Acknowledge that doubt is normal, but does not define your worth or potential. Compassion creates a safe mental space where you can explore fears without judgment and find the courage to act anyway. Their visualization techniques can support challenging doubt as well. Imagine yourself succeeding, handling obstacles and feeling confident. This mental rehearsal prepares your brain to respond effectively in real situations. Visualization strengthens belief by creating vivid internal evidence of your capabilities before external proof appears. When combined with real action, it becomes a powerful tool to overcome hesitation. Another effective method is to break overwhelming goals into manageable tasks. Doubt often grows when you look at the big picture and feel unprepared. By dividing your goals into small, achievable steps, you reduce fear and build confidence progressively. Completing these steps provides continuous evidence that you are moving forward. This approach keeps doubt in check by focusing your mind on immediate actions rather than distant uncertainties. Stay patient and persistent. Overcoming doubt is not a one-time event but a daily practice. Some days will be harder than others. You might stumble or feel discouraged. What matters is that you keep returning to action and evidence even when doubt tries to pull you back. This consistency builds resilience and eventually weakens doubt's influence until it becomes just a faint whisper instead of a roaring voice. Remember that everyone experiences doubt. Even the most successful people face moments of uncertainty. What sets them apart is their willingness to act, despite fear, and their habit of gathering evidence through effort. You can develop the same habit. Doubt is not a sign you should stop, but a signal to move forward with courage and clarity. In summary, challenge every doubt by taking meaningful action and collecting real evidence of your ability. Question negative beliefs and replace them with facts from your experience. Test your fears with small experiments and focus on what you can control. Lean on support from others and treat failure as feedback, not final judgment. Practice compassion and visualize success to prepare your mind. Break big goals into steps and stay persistent through ups and downs. This disciplined approach turns doubt from a roadblock into a stepping stone on your journey to believe in yourself and achieve cool things. Chapter 14. Speak your dreams out loud with total confidence. Sharing your dreams aloud is one of the most powerful actions you can take to turn them into reality. When you keep your dreams locked inside your mind, they remain fragile and uncertain, like ideas floating without foundation. Speaking your dreams out loud gives them shape, weight, and presence. It forces you to clarify exactly what you want, and by doing so, you invite the world and yourself to take your aspirations seriously. This simple act is a declaration of belief, not just to others, but most importantly to yourself. Speaking your dreams requires confidence, which might not come naturally at first. Many people hesitate because they fear judgment, rejection, or failure. But confidence is not about having no fear, it's about acting in spite of fear. When you boldly state your goals and hopes, you show yourself that your dreams are worth protecting and pursuing. You send a clear signal to your subconscious mind that you are committed. This strengthens your internal belief system and prepares you for the challenges ahead. Expressing your dreams verbally also builds accountability. When you tell someone about your intentions, you create a natural pressure to follow through. This is not about seeking approval, but about creating a sense of responsibility to yourself and your community. Your words become promises that you are more likely to keep. Accountability is a strong motivator that propels you forward even when motivation wanes or obstacles arise. The act of speaking your dreams aloud makes them more tangible. Vague hopes become specific targets. The clearer your words, the clearer your path. When you articulate your dreams, you start to map out the steps needed to reach them. This clarity reduces overwhelm and increases focus because your brain shifts from wishful thinking to goal-oriented planning. It transforms your dreams from distant fantasies into achievable projects. Sharing your dreams also opens the door for support and collaboration. When others know what you're aiming for, they can offer encouragement, advice, and resources. Opportunities often come from connections, whether that's a helpful conversation, a new idea, or an introduction. By vocalizing your dreams, you expand your network of potential allies who can help you navigate your journey. Silence limits your reach. Speaking out expands it. Speaking your dreams aloud boosts your self-esteem as well. Each time you share what you hope to create, you affirm your worth and potential. This builds confidence gradually, making it easier to claim bigger and bolder dreams over time. Confidence grows like a muscle, strengthened by repeated practice. Publicly owning your goals trains your mind to accept success as possible and deserved. Use precise and positive language when speaking your dreams. Avoid vague statements or negative framing like "I want to try" or "I hope to maybe." Instead, say "I will," "I am working toward," or "my goal is." This choice of words matters because it shapes your mindset and influences how others perceive your commitment. Positive, confident language attracts support and creates momentum. Practicing speaking your dreams out loud also helps you overcome internal doubts and fears. When you say your goals clearly and repeatedly, you challenge the negative voices that try to silence you. You train your brain to focus on possibility instead of limitation. This repetition rewires your thinking patterns, replacing self-doubt with self-belief. Make speaking your dreams a regular habit. Talk about them in different settings, whether with friends, mentors, or even to yourself in front of a mirror. The more you verbalize your vision, the more real and achievable it becomes. Routine sharing also keeps your dreams top of mind, helping you stay aligned with your purpose daily. It's important to surround yourself with people who respect and encourage your dreams. If you find that others dismiss or belittle your aspirations, protect your energy by limiting those interactions. Seek out individuals who inspire and challenge you to grow. Their positive response to your spoken dreams will fuel your confidence and keep you moving forward. Don't wait for the perfect moment or full certainty before speaking your dreams. Waiting often leads to silence and stagnation. Start now with what you know and believe. Your confidence will develop as you engage with your dreams publicly. Action fuels belief and belief fuels action in a continuous cycle. Speaking your dreams aloud also helps you clarify your purpose and passion. As you explain your vision, you may discover new layers of meaning and motivation. This self-awareness deepens your commitment and makes your goals more compelling. When your dreams connect deeply to your values, speaking them becomes easier and more inspiring. Remember that speaking your dreams is not bragging or boasting. It is an honest expression of your vision and a way to invite collaboration. True confidence is quiet and steady, not loud or aggressive. Speak your dreams with humility and authenticity. This approach attracts genuine support and respect. Challenges will arise, but speaking your dreams strengthens your resilience. When setbacks happen, recalling your spoken intentions reminds you why you started. It renews your determination and helps you push through difficult times. Your dreams become anchors that keep you steady amidst uncertainty. Use storytelling to share your dreams effectively. Tell the story of why this dream matters to you, how it started, and what you're doing to make it real. Stories engage emotions and create connection. When others understand your journey, they are more likely to support and believe in you. Speaking your dreams aloud creates a positive feedback loop. More you share, the more confident you become. The more confident you are, the more likely you are to take bold steps. The more steps you take, the closer you get to achieving what you've spoken. This loop propels you forward faster than silent hoping ever could. In conclusion, speaking your dreams out loud with total confidence is a transformative practice that turns ideas into reality. It clarifies your vision, builds accountability, attracts support, strengthens self-esteem, and overcomes doubt. It connects your goals to your identity and ignites passion. By vocalizing your dreams, you commit to your future in a powerful way that inspires action and fuels progress. Start today by sharing your vision, clearly and boldly. Watch how speaking your dreams becomes the catalyst that turns possibility into achievement. Chapter 15. Track your progress, so you never feel stuck. Tracking your progress is one of the most effective ways to maintain motivation and ensure continuous forward movement. When you keep a clear record of what you have accomplished, you build a sense of achievement that fuels further action. Progress tracking is a tool that prevents you from feeling stuck, lost, or overwhelmed by the distance between where you are and where you want to be. It acts like a map and a compass, showing you how far you've come and guiding your next steps. Many people hesitate to track progress because it feels tedious or because they fear facing slow results. However, without tracking, it's easy to overlook the small wins that add up to big change. When you pay attention to your progress, you recognize growth even when it feels invisible day to day. This awareness increases your confidence and helps you stay committed, especially during times of doubt or frustration. To start tracking progress effectively, choose a method that works for you and feels sustainable. Some people prefer digital tools like apps or spreadsheets, while others like journals or simple checklists. The key is consistency and simplicity. Make it a daily or weekly habit to review and record what you have achieved. This creates a rhythm of reflection that keeps you connected to your goals and allows you to adjust your approach when needed. Tracking your progress also helps you identify patterns. By reviewing your records, you can see what strategies lead to success and which ones need improvement. This insight allows you to make informed decisions rather than guessing. For example, you might notice that you perform better in the morning, or that certain activities drain your energy. With this knowledge, you can optimize your routine to maximize productivity and well-being. When you feel stuck, looking at your progress can be a powerful reminder that you are moving forward even if it doesn't feel like it. Stagnation often comes from losing sight of incremental gains. By revisiting your tracked achievements, you remind yourself that change is happening. This perspective shifts your mindset from frustration to gratitude and renewal, making it easier to push through obstacles. Progress tracking provides accountability. When you have a visible record of your actions, you are less likely to procrastinate or give up. It creates an internal contract with yourself. You see the consequences of inaction clearly, which motivates you to keep going. Sharing your progress with a friend or mentor can enhance this accountability even more by adding external encouragement and support. Celebrate milestones when tracking progress. Recognize not only the big successes, but also the small victories along the way. Each completed step is proof that you are capable and committed. Celebrating progress builds positive momentum and reinforces the habit of moving forward. It also creates a sense of joy and fulfillment that energizes you to continue. Avoid the trap of perfectionism by tracking progress rather than perfection. The goal is not to be flawless, but to be consistent. Progress is about direction and effort, not perfection. When you focus on progress, you reduce the fear of failure and increase your willingness to try. This mindset opens the door to learning and growth. Use your progress records to set realistic goals and deadlines. When you understand how long tasks typically take or what obstacles arise, you can plan more effectively. Setting achievable goals reduces overwhelm and increases your chances of success. It also creates a clear path forward, reducing uncertainty and anxiety. Progress tracking encourages reflection. Regularly review what you have done, how you feel about it, and what you want next. This reflection deepens your self-awareness and helps you align your actions with your true priorities. It also fosters a growth mindset by emphasizing learning over outcome. Make tracking a positive experience. Use encouraging language and focus on what went well rather than just what needs improvement. This positive reinforcement helps you build confidence and reduces negative self-talk. When progress tracking feels uplifting instead of stressful, you are more likely to stick with it. Remember that progress is not always linear. There will be ups and downs, plateaus and leaps forward. Tracking helps you see the big picture beyond temporary setbacks. It reminds you that growth is a journey with phases rather than a straight line. This understanding fosters patience and perseverance. Integrate progress tracking into your daily routine by pairing it with existing habits. For example, review your progress each morning with your coffee or each evening before bed. Linking new habits to established ones increases the likelihood that you will maintain them. Consistent tracking becomes a natural part of your lifestyle. Tracking also helps you celebrate your evolving identity. Each step forward is evidence that you are becoming the person you want to be. It connects your daily actions to your bigger vision. This connection motivates you to keep moving and reinforces your belief in yourself. Use progress tracking to identify when you need rest or recharge. Sometimes feeling stuck is a sign that your body or mind needs a break. Your records can reveal patterns of burnout or fatigue. Honoring these signs with rest ensures sustainable growth over the long term. When obstacles arise, refer back to your progress to find strength. Remembering what you have overcome builds resilience. Progress tracking creates a reservoir of motivation that you can draw on during tough times. It reminds you that you have the capacity to face challenges and keep going. In summary, tracking your progress is a practical and empowering habit that keeps you moving toward your goals. It provides motivation, clarity, accountability, and reflection. It helps you avoid feeling stuck by showing tangible evidence of growth. By celebrating milestones and learning from setbacks, you build confidence and resilience. Make progress tracking a daily practice to stay connected with your journey, aligned with your purpose and committed to your potential. This simple but powerful tool will keep you believing in yourself and achieving cool things consistently. Chapter 16. Practice being present instead of chasing perfection constantly. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of perfection. Many people spend so much time chasing flawless results that they lose sight of what truly matters. the present moment and the process of growth itself. Perfection is an illusion that can keep you stuck, waiting for ideal conditions before taking action. Practicing being present instead of chasing perfection is a powerful mindset that frees you from this trap and allows real progress to happen. When you focus on being present, you give your full attention to what's happening right now. You stop worrying about mistakes, outcomes, or future uncertainties. This shift in focus is liberating because it moves you from a state of anxiety and judgment into one of acceptance and clarity. You begin to engage deeply with your actions and experiences, learning and improving naturally without the pressure of achieving perfect results. Chasing perfection often leads to procrastination and fear of failure. You might delay starting projects because conditions aren't perfect or because you fear making mistakes. This paralysis stops you from growing and achieving your goals. Practicing presence encourages you to take imperfect action and embrace the learning that comes with it. It teaches you that progress, not perfection, is what truly matters. Being present means accepting your current abilities and circumstances without harsh judgment. It allows you to recognize that growth is a journey filled with ups and downs, not a straight path to flawless success. When you accept yourself as you are now, you create a foundation of self-compassion that supports continuous improvement. This kindness to yourself reduces the pressure to be perfect and opens space for creativity and resilience. Presence also helps you manage distractions and overwhelm. When your mind is scattered between past mistakes and future worries, you lose focus and energy. Practicing presence grounds you in the here and now, sharpening your attention and making your efforts more effective. This focus leads to better quality work and deeper satisfaction because you are fully engaged in what you do. Cultivating presence is a skill that requires practice. Start by setting aside moments each day to pause and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Notice when your mind drifts to worries about outcomes or mistakes, and gently bring your attention back to the present task. This mindful awareness builds over time and becomes a natural part of your daily life. Another way to practice presence is to break your work into small, manageable steps and focus on completing one step at a time. This approach prevents overwhelm and keeps you grounded in the current moment. You avoid getting lost in the big picture or perfectionist thinking, which can feel daunting. Step-by-step focus encourages steady progress and builds confidence. Being present enhances your ability to enjoy the journey rather than just the destination. When you stop rushing toward an ideal result, you notice the growth, learning and small wins that happen along the way. This enjoyment creates positive reinforcement that motivates you to keep going. It turns hard work into a meaningful experience rather than a stressful obligation. Practice gratitude for your efforts and progress as they happen. When you appreciate the present moment and what you have accomplished so far, you reduce the need to compare yourself to others or to unrealistic standards. Gratitude strengthens your sense of self-worth and satisfaction, which supports ongoing motivation and well-being. Presence also improves your relationships and communication. When you are fully engaged in conversations and interactions, you build stronger connections and understand others better. This social support is crucial for growth and resilience. Being present shows respect and openness, creating an environment where encouragement and constructive feedback thrive. Remember that perfection is subjective and often unattainable. What feels perfect to one person might not to another. Chasing an impossible ideal wastes time and energy that could be invested in real progress. By practicing presence, you learn to appreciate your unique path and strength. You focus on what you can control and influence rather than chasing an ever-moving target. Use affirmations and reminders to support your practice of presence. Phrases like "I am enough as I am" or progress over perfection can help shift your mindset when perfectionist thoughts arise. Placing these reminders where you see them often, such as on your desk or phone, reinforces your commitment to presence. Incorporate breaks and rest into your routine to maintain presence. Fatigue and stress make it harder to stay focused and present. Taking care of your physical and mental health supports sustained attention and reduces the temptation to seek perfection as a way to compensate for anxiety or insecurity. Learn to celebrate imperfect action. Every time you choose to act despite doubts or imperfections, you strengthen your courage and belief in yourself. This positive cycle builds momentum that eventually outweighs the urge to wait for perfect conditions. Action builds confidence, and confidence diminishes perfectionism. When setbacks happen, practice presence by observing your reactions without judgment. Notice feelings of disappointment or frustration and let them pass rather than getting stuck. Respond with curiosity about what you can learn rather than criticism. This approach turns challenges into growth opportunities and keeps you moving forward. Presence also supports creativity. When you are fully engaged in the moment, your mind is freer to explore new ideas and solutions. Perfectionism often blocks creativity because it focuses on rigid rules and fear of mistakes. Being present invites experimentation and innovation, which are essential for achieving cool things. Over time, practicing presence rewires your brain to respond differently to stress and uncertainty. You become more resilient and adaptable because you face each moment as it comes, rather than reacting based on fears about the future. This mental flexibility allows you to navigate obstacles with calm and clarity. Finally, practicing presence aligns you with your values and purpose. When you focus on what truly matters right now, your actions reflect your deepest intentions. This alignment creates a sense of fulfillment and meaning that goes beyond external achievements. Presence grounds your growth in authenticity and passion. In summary, practicing being present instead of chasing perfection is a vital step towards sustainable self-belief and achievement. It frees you from fear and procrastination, enhances focus and creativity, and fosters self-compassion and resilience. By engaging fully with each moment and embracing imperfect action, you create a life of meaningful progress and joy. Make presence your daily practice and watch how it transforms your journey and result. Chapter 17. Show up daily even when motivation feels low. Showing up daily is one of the most important habits for achieving meaningful growth, especially when motivation is low. Motivation can be unpredictable. Some days you wake up energized and ready to conquer the world, while other days it feels like it's completely disappeared. Relying solely on motivation sets you up for inconsistency because motivation fluctuates based on mood, energy, and circumstances. Instead, showing up daily means committing to your goals regardless of how you feel. This commitment creates discipline and momentum, which are far more reliable than motivation alone. When motivation fades, the temptation to skip tasks or delay action grows stronger. This is exactly the moment when showing up is most critical. By simply starting your work or taking a small step, you break the cycle of inactivity. Action generates energy and focus, often rekindling motivation along the way. Waiting for motivation to arrive before you act leads to procrastination and missed opportunities. Showing up teaches you that progress comes from consistent effort, not perfect conditions. Showing up daily builds trust in yourself. Each time you follow through on your commitment, you reinforce the belief that you are reliable and capable. This self-trust is a foundation for confidence and resilience. When you doubt your abilities, reminding yourself of your consistent effort can restore faith and push you forward. The habit of showing up becomes a source of strength that helps you overcome challenges and setbacks. Creating a routine supports showing up even when motivation is low. Routines automate behavior, reducing the mental effort required to start tasks. When certain actions become habits, you perform them almost automatically without needing a burst of motivation. Design your daily routine to include dedicated time for your most important goals. This structure provides stability and makes it easier to maintain momentum through ups and downs. It's helpful to break your work into smaller, manageable chunks. When motivation is lacking, large tasks can feel overwhelming and discouraging. Dividing your goals into simple, achievable steps makes it easier to start and keep going. Even completing a tiny piece of your work contributes to progress and builds positive momentum. Small wins remind you that action is possible, creating a cycle of accomplishment that lifts motivation naturally. Showing up daily also means practicing patience. Results don't happen overnight, and growth takes time. When motivation dips, remember why you started, and that persistence will pay off. Patience allows you to stay committed without being discouraged by slow progress. Embrace the process and trust that consistent effort accumulates into meaningful change. Another key is to prepare for low motivation days in advance. Identify strategies that help you push through difficult moments. This might include motivational quotes, brief exercise, listening to inspiring music, or connecting with supportive friends. Having a toolkit ready keeps you from relying solely on willpower in challenging times. You build resilience by proactively addressing obstacles before they stop you. Accept that some days showing up means doing less than usual, and that's okay. Progress is about consistency over time, not intensity every single day. On tough days, aim for the minimum effective dose. A short walk, a quick journal entry, or a few minutes of focused work. This approach keeps you engaged and prevents burnout. Showing up doesn't require perfection, it requires presence. Accountability partners or groups can boost your ability to show up regularly. Sharing your goals and progress with others creates social pressure to maintain commitment. You gain encouragement and support from people who understand your journey. Being part of a community reminds you that you're not alone and that consistent effort is valued. Celebrate your dedication to showing up daily. Recognize that the simple act of showing up, especially on difficult days, is a powerful achievement in itself. This recognition reinforces the habit and builds confidence. Gratitude for your own persistence increases motivation and makes the process more enjoyable. When you miss a day or slip up, avoid harsh self-criticism. Everyone experiences setbacks. What matters most is how you respond. Use setbacks as learning opportunities and recommit to showing up the next day. This mindset shifts focus from failure to growth and keeps you moving forward with determination. Showing up daily fosters a growth mindset by emphasizing effort and learning over innate talent or immediate success. You develop the understanding that progress is earned through practice, repetition, and resilience. This mindset helps you see challenges as opportunities rather than threats, making it easier to maintain your commitment. Keep your bigger vision in mind as motivation wanes. Reminding yourself of why your goals matter helps create emotional connection and purpose. Visualization of your desired future can reignite passion and provide clarity about the value of daily effort. Connecting daily actions to your long-term vision strengthens your resolve. Showing up also means prioritizing self-care. When motivation is low, physical and mental fatigue may be factors. Rest, nutrition, exercise and mindfulness support your energy and focus. Taking care of your well-being equips you to maintain consistency without burning out. Self-care is not a break from progress, but a vital part of sustainable showing up. Use positive self-talk to encourage yourself on low motivation days, Replace thoughts like "I can't" or "I don't feel like it" with affirmations such as "I'm capable" or "One step is enough." Language shapes mindset and behavior. Cultivating supportive inner dialogue boosts your ability to take action despite resistance. Showing up daily builds momentum that carries you through tough times. Momentum is a force that grows with continuous effort, making it easier to keep moving forward. Each day you show up strengthens this force, creating a positive feedback loop. Over time, momentum outweighs hesitation and doubt. In summary, showing up daily even when motivation feels low is essential for long-term success and growth. It creates discipline, builds self-trust, and generates momentum that drives progress. By establishing routines, breaking work into manageable steps, preparing for tough days, and practicing patience, you develop resilience and consistency. Celebrating your commitment and using support systems further strengthen this habit. Remember that progress comes from presence and persistence, not perfection or constant enthusiasm. Make the decision to show up every day and watch how steady effort transforms your goals into reality and belief in yourself into unstoppable confidence. Chapter 18. Learn from failure instead of fearing it deeply. Failure is often seen as something to avoid at all costs, but learning from failure rather than fearing it is one of the most important shifts you can make to believe in yourself and achieve your goals. Fear of failure can paralyze you, stopping you from taking risks or trying new things. This fear limits your growth and keeps you stuck in comfort zones where real progress is rare. When you change your relationship with failure from one of fear to one of learning, you open the door to resilience, creativity, and success. Failure is not a reflection of your worth or ability. It is a natural part of the journey toward mastery and achievement. Every successful person has experienced failure, but what sets them apart is their willingness to see failure as valuable feedback rather than a final verdict. When you embrace failure as information, you shift your mindset to one of curiosity and problem-solving. This change empowers you to face challenges with confidence instead of dread. Learning from failure requires honest reflection. When things don't go as planned, take the time to analyze what happened without blaming yourself or others. Ask questions like, what went wrong? What could I do differently next time? What did I learn about myself and the situation? This process turns failure into a powerful teacher that guides your next steps. Reflection transforms setbacks into stepping stones. Instead of fearing failure, develop a habit of experimentation. Approach your goals with a mindset that welcomes trial and error. See each attempt as a test that provides data and insight. This approach reduces the pressure to be perfect and makes the process of improvement more enjoyable. You learn to value progress over immediate success, which keeps you motivated and engaged. Building emotional resilience helps you handle failure constructively. Feelings of disappointment, frustration, or shame are natural, but they don't have to control your action. When you develop resilience, you acknowledge these emotions without letting them derail you. Techniques like mindfulness, journaling, or talking to supportive people can help you process feelings and maintain perspective. Resilience enables you to bounce back stronger. Failure often reveals hidden assumptions and limiting beliefs. When something doesn't work, it challenges your existing ideas about how things should be. This challenge is an opportunity to grow your awareness and flexibility. Question your beliefs and be willing to adjust your approach. This openness leads to innovation and deeper understanding. Celebrate the courage it takes to fail. Choosing to take action despite the risk of failure is an act of bravery. Recognize and honor your willingness to step outside your comfort zone. This positive reinforcement builds confidence and reduces the stigma around failure. When you see failure as a badge of courage, you become more willing to pursue ambitious goals. Failure teaches humility and patience. Success rarely happens overnight. It's the result of repeated efforts and learning from mistakes. Accepting failure as part of the process helps you stay grounded and realistic. Patience with yourself and the journey reduces frustration and burnout, making sustained effort possible. Seek feedback actively when you experience failure. Other perspectives can provide insights you might miss. Constructive feedback helps you identify blind spots and areas for improvement. Surround yourself with mentors or peers who offer honest and supportive guidance. This external input complements your own reflection and accelerates learning. Reframe failure by changing your language. Instead of saying "I failed," say "I learned," or "This attempt showed me what doesn't work." Language shapes your mindset and emotion. Positive reframing reduces fear and builds optimism. It creates a mental environment where failure is seen as an ally rather than an enemy. Document your failures and lessons learned. Keeping a failure journal or log helps you track patterns and growth over time. Reviewing this record reminds you how much you have learned and how your approach has evolved. It also normalizes failure as a regular and necessary part of progress. Avoid perfectionism by accepting that mistakes are inevitable. Striving for flawlessness increases fear of failure and slows down action. When you allow room for imperfection, you free yourself to experiment and improve. This acceptance creates a healthier relationship with failure and success. Learn from others' failures as well. Study stories of people who faced setbacks and ultimately succeeded. Understanding how others navigated failure can inspire and teach you strategies to handle your own challenges. This perspective reduces isolation and encourages perseverance. Develop problem-solving skills to respond to failure effectively. When faced with obstacles, focus on identifying solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Break challenges into smaller parts and tackle them step by step. This proactive approach turns failure into actionable steps forward. Maintain a long-term perspective. Failure is a moment in your journey, not the end. Keep your vision and goals in mind to stay motivated through setbacks. This perspective helps you see failure as a temporary obstacle rather than a permanent barrier. Practice self-compassion when dealing with failure. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding, just as you would a close friend. Self-compassion reduces negative self-talk and emotional pain associated with failure. It supports emotional healing and encourages a positive mindset. Use failure as an opportunity to develop new skills. Sometimes failure shows you gaps in knowledge or ability. Embrace these moments as invitations to learn and grow. Taking action to acquire new skills builds confidence and expands your potential. Failure can lead to unexpected opportunities. Sometimes what seems like a setback redirects you toward better paths or ideas. Stay open to new possibilities that emerge from failure. This openness can lead to breakthroughs you wouldn't have found otherwise. Recognize that failure is a shared human experience. Everyone encounters setbacks at some point. This understanding reduces feelings of shame or isolation. It connects you to a community of learners and achievers. Practice gratitude for the lessons failure provides. Appreciating failure's role in your growth shifts your focus from loss to gain. Gratitude fosters resilience and a positive outlook. Finally, remember that learning from failure is a skill that improves with practice. The more you engage with failure constructively, the easier it becomes to handle setbacks and keep moving forward. This skill is a cornerstone of self-belief and achievement. In conclusion, fearing failure deeply limits your potential and growth. By shifting your mindset to learn from failure, you transform setbacks into valuable lessons. Honest reflection, resilience, positive language, and seeking feedback are key tools in this process. Embracing failure with courage, patience, and self-compassion supports continuous improvement and strengthens your belief in yourself. This approach creates a foundation for achieving cool things and living a fulfilling life. Chapter 19. Keep promises to yourself to grow self-respect fast. Keeping promises to yourself is one of the quickest ways to build self-respect and strengthen your belief in yourself. Every promise you make and keep creates a foundation of trust between you and yourself. This trust is essential because your relationship with yourself shapes your confidence, decisions, and overall well-being. When you honor your commitments, no matter how small, you show yourself that you are worthy of respect and capable of following through. This internal respect fuels motivation and resilience, helping you achieve cool things in life. Many people underestimate the power of keeping promises to themselves because they focus more on external commitments. However, the promises you make to yourself are just as important, if not more so, because they reflect your values and priorities. When you break a promise to yourself, it sends a message that your goals and feelings are less important. This erodes self-respect and makes it harder to believe you can accomplish what you set out to do. On the other hand, consistently keeping these promises reinforces your self-worth and sense of integrity. Start by making clear and realistic promises to yourself. Avoid vague or overwhelming commitments that are difficult to keep. Instead, focus on achievable actions that align with your values and goals. For example, promise to spend 10 minutes each day on a project, or commit to a regular bedtime to improve your health. Clear promises are easier to track and fulfill, increasing your chances of success and the positive feelings that come with it. Tracking your promises and progress is an effective way to maintain accountability. Use a journal, app, or checklist to record your commitments and check off when you follow through. This visual evidence of your reliability boosts self-confidence and encourages you to keep going. It also helps you recognize patterns, celebrate wins, and identify areas for adjustment. When you struggle to keep a promise, avoid harsh self-criticism. Instead, treat yourself with compassion and curiosity. Reflect on what prevented you from following through and what changes could help in the future. This non-judgmental approach fosters growth and resilience, rather than shame and avoidance. Learning from setbacks allows you to improve your ability to keep promises over time. Prioritize promises that have a meaningful impact on your well-being and personal growth. Keeping commitments related to self-care, learning, or healthy habits demonstrates that you value yourself deeply. These promises build a positive feedback loop, where honoring yourself leads to better feelings and stronger self-respect. This cycle empowers you to take on bigger challenges with confidence. Build your promise-keeping muscle gradually. Start with small commitments and increase their complexity as your confidence grows. This gradual approach prevents overwhelm and helps develop consistency. Each kept promise is a victory that strengthens your internal trust and belief in your capabilities. Communicate your promises to yourself using positive and clear language. For instance, say, "I will write for 15 minutes every day," instead of "I'll try to write more." Concrete language creates clarity and commitment. It also helps your mind take your promises seriously, reinforcing your motivation to act. Celebrate your successes in keeping promises. Acknowledge the effort and dedication you put into following through. Celebrations don't have to be elaborate. Even a moment of gratitude or a small reward can reinforce the habit. Recognizing your reliability nurtures pride and joy, making it easier to maintain this powerful practice. Avoid overcommitting by being honest with yourself about your time and energy. Making promises you cannot realistically keep leads to frustration and self-doubt. Prioritize quality over quantity and focus on promises that truly matter. This careful selection increases the likelihood of success and builds authentic self-respect. Link promises to your larger goals and purpose. When you understand how daily commitments contribute to your vision, you feel more motivated and grounded. This connection gives your promises meaning beyond the moment and reinforces your determination to keep them. Surround yourself with supportive people who encourage your promise-keeping efforts. Share your commitments with trusted friends or mentors who can provide encouragement and accountability. Positive social support strengthens your resolve and helps you overcome challenges. Develop rituals around your promises to create consistency. For example, set a specific time or environment for the actions you committed to. Rituals reduce decision fatigue and create automaticity, making it easier to keep promises even when motivation wanes. Practice self-reflection regularly to evaluate your promise-keeping progress. Ask yourself what worked, what didn't, and how you feel about your commitments. This reflection deepens your self-awareness and helps you refine your approach. It also highlights your growth, reinforcing your belief in yourself. Understand that keeping promises to yourself is a lifelong practice. It requires patience and persistence. You will face moments of struggle, but each effort to honor your commitments builds resilience and self-respect. View this journey as a continuous opportunity for growth, rather than a one-time achievement. Use setbacks as learning opportunities, not reasons to give up. If you miss a promise, recommit with renewed intention. This ability to bounce back demonstrates strength and integrity. It also reinforces the habit of reliability over time. Recognize the ripple effect of keeping promises to yourself. As your self-respect grows, it influences how others perceive and respect you. Your confidence and integrity become visible and inspire trust. This positive influence extends into your relationships, career, and overall life satisfaction. Keep promises to yourself as a form of self-love and empowerment. Honoring your commitments shows that you value your dreams, health, and happiness. This self-respect fuels motivation and courage, enabling you to face challenges and achieve your goals. Remember that promises are personal contracts that hold you accountable to your highest self. They remind you of your potential and purpose. By consistently keeping your promises, you reinforce your identity as someone who follows through and achieves cool things. In conclusion, keeping promises to yourself is a fundamental practice for growing self-respect and building unwavering self-belief. Making clear, realistic commitments, tracking progress, practicing self-compassion, and celebrating successes create a strong foundation of trust and confidence. This habit strengthens your motivation, resilience, and integrity, empowering you to pursue your goals with determination. Embrace promise-keeping as a daily act of self-respect and watch how it transforms your relationship with yourself and your ability to achieve cool things consistently. Chapter 20. Visualize success every day until it feels natural. Visualizing success every day until it feels natural is a powerful practice that shapes your mindset and prepares you to achieve your goals with confidence. Visualization is not just daydreaming, it is a deliberate and focused mental exercise where you imagine yourself achieving what you desire in vivid detail. This daily habit rewires your brain to expect success, helping you overcome doubts and fears that might otherwise hold you back. When you visualize success regularly, you create a clear mental picture of your goals. This clarity helps you understand exactly what you want, making your objectives more tangible and attainable. A well-defined vision directs your energy and actions towards specific outcomes instead of vague hopes. Your brain starts working behind the scenes to align your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors with that vision. Practicing visualization strengthens your belief in yourself by building familiarity with success. When you imagine succeeding repeatedly, your mind begins to accept this success as a natural possibility rather than a distant fantasy. This acceptance reduces anxiety and increases motivation because your brain treats the imagined success as achievable reality. Over time, this mental rehearsal boosts your confidence and prepares you to perform better in real-life situations. Visualization also enhances your emotional connection to your goals. When you see yourself succeeding vividly, you experience the positive emotions associated with that success: pride, joy, excitement, and fulfillment. These emotions increase your commitment and determination, making it easier to persist through challenges. The emotional power of visualization creates a strong internal drive that propels you forward. To make visualization effective, engage all your senses. Don't just see the success in your mind's eye. Imagine the sounds, smells, physical sensations, and even the taste or touch related to your achievement. For example, if your goal is public speaking, picture the room, hear the applause, feel the microphone, and notice your calm breath. Engaging multiple senses makes the experience more realistic and impactful, helping your brain encode the vision deeply. Consistency is key when it comes to visualization. Practice this exercise daily, ideally at the same time each day, such as in the morning or before bed. Regular practice trains your subconscious mind and builds a habit that eventually becomes second nature. The more you visualize, the more natural and automatic this positive mindset becomes. Combine visualization with clear intention and action plan. Visualization alone is not enough. It needs to be paired with concrete steps toward your goals. After visualizing, outline the actions you will take to move closer to your vision. This integration keeps you grounded in reality while harnessing the power of mental rehearsal. Use visualization to prepare for potential obstacles. Imagine yourself encountering challenges and successfully overcoming them. Visualize staying calm, problem-solving, and adapting your strategy. This practice builds mental resilience and reduces fear of failure. When challenges arise, your mind is already prepared to handle them with confidence. Incorporate affirmations into your visualization practice. While visualizing, repeat positive statements that support your belief in success and your ability to achieve it. Affirmations like "I am capable," "I attract success," or "I handle challenges with strength" reinforce your mental image and create a powerful mindset that supports your goals. Avoid rushing through visualization. Spend enough time to fully immerse yourself in the experience. The goal is to create a strong emotional and sensory connection that leaves a lasting impression on your subconscious. The more detailed and vivid your visualization, the more effective it will be in shaping your mindset. Visualization can also help improve your performance in specific tasks. Athletes, performers, and high achievers use this technique to rehearse their skills mentally before actual execution. By visualizing the steps and outcomes, you build muscle memory and mental preparedness. This technique reduces anxiety and improves focus when it's time to perform. Keep a visualization journal to track your experiences and progress. Write down what you visualize, the emotions you feel, and any insights that arise. Reflecting on this journal over time can deepen your understanding of your goals and reveal patterns or shifts in your mindset. Journaling complements visualization by adding clarity and intentionality to the process. Be patient with yourself as you develop this skill. Visualization may feel awkward or unfamiliar at first, especially if you are not used to focused mental imagery. With regular practice, it becomes easier and more natural. Celebrate small improvements and trust that persistence will yield powerful results. Adapt your visualization practice as your goals evolve. Update your mental images to reflect new aspirations or milestones. Keeping your visualization aligned with your current vision maintains relevance and motivation. This flexibility ensures that your mental rehearsals always serve your growth. Visualizing success daily also helps reduce stress and increase optimism. When you focus on positive outcomes and your ability to create them, you counteract negative thoughts and worry. This positive mental state supports better decision-making and healthier emotional responses. Share your visualization practice with a trusted friend or coach if you feel comfortable. Talking about your vision aloud can clarify your goals and deepen your emotional connection to them. It also invites encouragement and accountability, reinforcing your commitment. Remember that visualization is a tool, not a magic solution. It enhances your mindset, but requires consistent effort, learning, and adaptation to achieve real results. Use visualization as a foundation to build habits, develop skills, and take meaningful actions that move you towards success. In conclusion, visualizing success every day until it feels natural is a transformative habit that reshapes your beliefs, emotions, and behavior. By creating clear and vivid mental images of your goals, engaging your senses, and combining visualization with intention and action, you train your brain to expect and create success. This practice builds confidence, motivation, and resilience, helping you overcome doubts and obstacles. Make visualization a daily ritual and watch how it becomes an effortless part of your mindset that supports your journey toward achieving cool things and living a fulfilled life.